So that's why I say, those of us as advocates, that's one of the important jobs that we do, as well as doing the research to make sure that we're looking up to find what the true conviction is for the individual.
That Latino immigrants face are access to polling areas, transportation, right? I think that's one that a lot of communities have in common, transportation, especially with Alabama not having a great public transportation system. So if weather's bad or not going to the wrong direction, locations, long wait times. The U.S. is one of the few countries in the world that doesn't have like an election day as being like a holiday. A lot of countries have election day being a holiday, which means you get off from work and you like, it's a whole event, like everyone gets to go to vote.
Groups and a lot of times the groups that I speak in front of are not very diverse, okay? And so when I have an opportunity, I like to express that the only way that a lot of these things and these conversations about race and these difficult conversations and all of these things, the only way that these things are gonna change is that, not only do people have to have that seat at the table, but they also gotta be able to eat, right? Just sitting there is not enough. But when you have white men who are open and engaged to having these conversations, then I see the hope in possible change. But it's a lot of times when I speak in front of people and there's not one white guy in the whole bunch, and I'm looking and they say, "How do we make these changes?" I say, "Well, you should have brought your husband, right? Or you should." And I'm serious, because without them, there will be no change. The white men are the top demographic group in this country. They can live their whole lives and never have to think about anything civil rights related, anything equality related, anything, and totally function, right? You have you retire, do all that good stuff. And so I always like to commend when I see white men who are out here having these conversations, talking about these issues, and are willing to do that. So I commend you all, and I thank you for that.
The 1901 Constitution of Alabama was implemented for the purpose of maintaining white supremacy. And the president of the Constitutional Convention said so at the Constitutional Convention. Said we are intending to implement white supremacy as much as possible within the laws that the federal government will come out. So they did so. There have been some improvements recently in the definition of Moral Turpitude Act. Prior to just a couple of years ago, actually, 2017, the determination of what was a disqualifying conviction for a voter was left to the registrars in the counties. There was no guidance, and there was, frankly, no rhyme or reason to the way things were done.
Apply for it earlier if you're wanting to stay in your home county. Now, I know every once in a while the people on campus sometimes become involved with local elections, and they register to vote here and change their address here, and that's their prerogative. But if you want to have a say about the county commissioners and all the things back home, you should vote or register to vote absentee. And again, the ballot the form you have has the address of your home county on the back.
kinds of provisions like making sure that the tables and the booths are wheelchair accessible, that there's a wide enough path for them to go through if they have a wheelchair or a power chair, that there's handrails on stairs and ramps, that we have ramps, right? I can't tell you how many calls I get of someone going to vote for the first time in a new precinct and they're in a wheelchair and they get to their poll site and there's stairs. And they're like, okay, what do I do? Right? What do? They have to find some kind of side door, a loading dock to get in there. There's no signs. There's nothing for them to know how to get inside the building. But when I go and vote, I get handed my ballot, and I go and I sit at a tailgate table, right? And it is all open for every single person to see at my poll site. And a lot of times I probably have a different ballot than a lot of the other people on my poll site. So it's pretty obvious, right? And you feel like that you're in second grade and you have to hold your arm up and mark your bubble, right? So that in and of itself is eliminating every person at poll site's right to vote privately. Everyone should be able to vote without feeling like people are watching them, because a lot of people can take that as voter